Hello and welcome to Spurs Israel. I am Rafi Ben David. Usually we are doing the podcast in Hebrew. This time we'll change it a bit. We'll do it in English. I will explain in a second. First of all, I will introduce the rest of the team today. We have Boaz Goldschmidt.
Yay.
Yoav Mayer.
Hey.
Maor Elbaz.
Hello, everybody.
And our special guest, Tottenham legend Ledley King.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's a real big pleasure. I think we cannot express how much we're excited that you're here with us. And Tottenham here, it's incredible.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my first time in Israel, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I've always wanted to come here. Now I have the opportunity, and it's great for us to be here in front of our fans out here to be able to perform and hopefully put on a good show for you guys. So we're really looking forward to that.
We already enjoy every second of your year in Israel because we were earlier in the hotel. We saw the players. So for us, it's I think one of the biggest experiences as Tottenham fans.
Yeah.
So even if the game won't be that good, it will be okay for us.
No, it will be good. It will be good.
Yeah, of course.
Be a good game.
Maor, I want to start with you. How does it feel to sit next to Ledley King?
It's such a big excitement since many of you know that I have a shirt of Ledley. It was my second shirt that I bought, and it's right behind him with all the signatures. And after
it's a good luck shirt as well.
Yeah, it's a good luck. I'm unbeaten with this shirt.
Yeah, great.
And after this meeting, it will be framed and in my house.
Retiring is unbeaten.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with your beginning in Tottenham. You started in the academy, and if I'm not mistaken, 99 you started to play in
That's right,
Tottenham against Liverpool in Anfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Yefet.
Say that again?
Like Yefet and Ganga.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, the same. There's a few. I was speaking to Michael Dawson recently, and his first game was against Liverpool as well. So we like to have a nice easy start.
Yeah. Does it mean if you start against Liverpool in your debut, maybe you become a legend? Yeah. So let's see who is the next one.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
How did it feel for you to start to play in Tottenham after the academy?
Yeah, I mean, I'd been at Tottenham since I was 14 years old. So I kind of worked my way up. And, before I made my debut, I was obviously training with the first team on a regular basis. I was traveling to games, often on the bench. So, I was waiting for my opportunity. And, my opportunity come against Liverpool. I was on the bench in the game, and Maurizio Tirico got sent off. He was playing left back. Just before half-time, he got sent off, and the manager at the time, George Graham, looked to me and said, "You'll be coming on at half-time." Very, very nervous in the whole half-time. In the break, I'm composing myself, getting ready for my big moment in the second half to come on. And it was a tough first game. We lost 3-2. We was 2-0 up when I come on. we lost 3-2. It was a difficult game, but a great moment to make your debut. And it's every boy's dream to obviously play in the Premier League, and for me to play for Tottenham was my dream. And although we lost the game, it was a great moment for myself. Yeah.
And another great moment, I'm sure, it's your first goal. It was also the fastest goal until Shane Long came 3 years ago.
Yeah.
How special was it to score your first goal and also fastest?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing midfield during that time, and to be honest with you, I didn't really think too much about it during my career because I was obviously a defender, and that's my first and foremost, thing to do is to make sure I'm defending. So goals was always a bonus, but I didn't like the goal itself. It wasn't a very good goal. So although when people spoke about the record, I wish they never watched the goal because the goal wasn't very good. But of course, as time goes on and the record lasts, I think it was 17 years or so it lasted. After a while, as you get older, you start to enjoy it, especially when I retired. I kept hearing my name, and it was because of the record.
Yeah.
And then, I was just getting comfortable with it. And then Shane Long obviously beat it. I think he beat it by a good 3 seconds. So, his one is going to last a very long time. But of course, to score my first goal was very, very proud. And, I look back now and think, it was nice to have the record.
Yeah. What's your best moment in your playing career at Tottenham?
It has to be winning the Carling Cup, of course, the last captain to win the trophy. And, I played my first final when I was 21, my first final. The next one was the Carling Cup in 2008. By now, I'm a little bit more mature. I'm captain, and I wasn't sure when the next opportunity was going to come. So I was determined to make sure that we won this one. And it was a great feeling to be able to be part of the history of the club. It was a special feeling, and my favourite game, without a doubt, for looking back now.
Yeah, and this season it was a very tough season for you.
Yeah.
With all the injuries, and you played most of the time only in the League Cup against Arsenal and Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that I had an operation in that summer, 2007. So it took a while to recover from that knee operation. It was quite a big one, and Ramos, who was the manager at the time, one day Ramos was kind of saving me for the cup rather than playing me in the league. And I think I only played in the semis, the 2 semi-final games and the League Cup final. And after the cup final, because my knee still didn't feel right, even though I was playing, my knee still didn't feel right. So we kind of decided that as soon as we got knocked out of Europe, then I would finish my season there and go and find a way to kind of help my knee. So I think we lost to PSV in Europe that season, and straight after that, I think it was like February, my season finished. I started going around the world trying to speak to different surgeons to see if they could help my knee, because it just didn't feel right at the time. So didn't play many games that season, but luckily for me, I think I was looking back and I think I managed 29 games overall the next season. So, maybe just stopping there and kind of getting some more help with my knee probably helped.
Yeah. So you played the most important games. 2 games against Arsenal and 1 against Chelsea. Chelsea.
I think, I can't remember exactly how it happened, but I think this is a big reason of why I lifted the trophy with Robbie as well, because Robbie had captained the team throughout the early stages of the competition.
Yeah.
So obviously I played the 2 semis and the final, and I didn't want to feel like I'd just come in for the glory. So I decided in my head, what, Robbie had kind of got us so far. If we win it, I'll lift the trophy with him. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice gesture from both of you, I think.
Yeah, it was great. And Robbie was someone who cared about the club. He'd been at the club a long time, so I knew how much it meant to him as well. So when I look back at the pictures now, it's nice that we shared that moment together.
Yeah, it's a very, very nice picture. Hopefully in the future we will have some more pictures.
Yeah, we need some more pictures now, yeah, for sure.
Maybe the visit in Israel will
inspire the team.
It's coming. It's
coming. I think this season is
coming.
It's coming
going to be a good one for us.
Buzz, you want to ask someone?
Sure. So it's a big question. It's about success. And I know at the time I read about Hugo's discussions with Poch at the time about how you can define success, because you can have a third goalkeeper in a strong side like City or Liverpool who's winning titles. And on the other hand, you can have like a defender in mid-table championship side playing week in, week out, giving it his all. And is he not successful? I mean, so I think the big question is, and this is obviously a big discussion surrounding, Harry Kane and everything, but for you as someone who did win a title, how do you define success as a football player? Is it the titles, or is it just the personal feeling?
I think everyone probably has a different feeling. What you mentioned, what you described is a very good scenario. Someone who's winning trophies but hardly kicking a ball, or someone who's playing week in, week out, hasn't won anything. It's what success is to you, I suppose, and to your club. So everyone's got different different kind of expectations. For me, you start the journey as a young kid, and your aim is to be the best that you can be. For me, that was success, to be the best player that I could be. So when I look back on my career, I ask myself, was I able to achieve a level that I'm happy with? When I look back, was I able to be the person or the player that I wanted to be when I was a young kid that I wanted to grow up? And that for me is, success in my own mind, in my own head. Of course, it's a team game, and of course you want success with your team, and there's nothing better than sharing success with a team. But within that, you have to look at the individual, and every individual has to be the best he can be.
Right.
And when you can get a team that can achieve that, then you can go on to hopefully win things. So, and another thing was for me was I always, you want to enjoy your football as well. I've seen many players leave clubs, make the wrong moves at times. So if you're happy and you feel that you can still be the best player you can be, and still kind of get I don't say the accolades, but people's attention as being a top player, then that's as good as anything for me.
And is this something that you speak to the younger players about, like Jeff
really,
coming through? Do they come and consult with you?
No, not really. No, because I think everyone has their own kind of ideas. It's always a difficult situation. And never an easy one. So you just hope that you put yourself in the place as a football club where players feel that they can achieve everything they want to achieve.
Looking back on your career, you mentioned the success and all the career. If the injuries and the many injuries and operations, how do you think it hurt your full potential?
Yeah, of course. At the age of 26, I believe, is when I stopped training. So, mentally, and I want to say physically, apart from one knee, I felt, I was ready to kind of kick on and become, one of the best in my position in the world. I felt like I had all the tools to be able to do that. But obviously, my knee injury kind of stopped me from training. So any player that can't train, it's very difficult to improve. My levels of fitness wasn't the same as my teammates. Anyone who kind of is coming back from injury will tell you they don't feel themselves until they play a certain amount of games. Every game felt like my first game because I wasn't able to train and get a level of fitness in training. So it was definitely difficult. But for me, it was about helping my team at that point. It was about understanding that I wasn't gonna kind of be the exact player that as good as I would have hoped. I believe that I was on the path to be. But after that, it was about trying to make the team a better team. When I played, I needed to be useful because I wasn't there on the training pitch. I had to make sure that, when I played, we was a better team and I helped everyone around me.
Yeah, and it didn't affect the coordination with your defenders, friends?
I mean, to a certain extent, it has to, because I didn't run during the week.
Yeah,
I didn't run. I didn't kick a ball. I didn't twist. I didn't turn. I didn't do all the things that you do during the week. So it definitely had an impact, but not enough that I couldn't still play at a decent level. So, I suppose I had kind of other things to, I believe that I was a well-rounded player that allowed me to be able to kind of make up for, not being able to be as fit as I would have liked to be, not being able to as fast as I'd like to, but I still understood the game and I still made it work. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we want to ask Ledley a question.
Yes, I would like to ask about. You mentioned your partners. Who was the best player you played with, and how was it, the feeling to play with them?
Well, when I was young, I played with players like Teddy Sheringham and David Ginola, and Les Ferdinand. These were top players. Players that I was watching at school. I was watching at school, and then next thing you know, you're in training with them, and then you're playing with them. So they were fantastic players. But I'd have to say, kind of during my career, once I was kind of established, some of the players that we brought in, Van der Vaart, Edgar Davids was a top player. Luca was probably... Luca and Gareth Bale, I probably have to say, reached the highest level of anyone that I played with. As we've seen with them, Real Madrid, and how many Champions Leagues they've won. And Luca was a fantastic player. He was fantastic. And not too many players, or not too many people knew him before he joined. So it wasn't like we were signing a ready-made star. We'd sign someone who had a lot of potential, and we could see that in training. But it took him a year or so to adjust, and then once he kind of started playing in his real position, because he was playing off the left a little bit in the midfield at first, but once he started playing centrally, he was unbelievable. But I'd say Gareth, the season before he left Tottenham, that's probably the highest level of anyone that I'd seen during my time. He was unstoppable. Probably the third best player in the world at that point. He was. So probably Gareth.
There is a funny. You mentioned Luca was quite. People didn't know him when he came to Tottenham.
Yeah.
There's a funny story because he was in the Israeli media. They said that he's coming to a team in Israel after
really?
Dinamo Zagreb before Tottenham.
Yeah, really? Okay.
So this is it's a funny story that a team that was Maccabi Tel Aviv, not even in the Champions League. Wanted Luka, and now he's one of the best midfielders in football history.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's funny how things work.
Yeah,
It really is, but,
like all those myths about Messi almost signing for like Blackburn or something.
Okay. I think Luka made the right move.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Mauro mentioned the best player you played with him. Who's the best player you played against?
Ooh, so I used to say Zidane. I played against Zidane in
That's unbelievable.
2004.
By the way, that you played against Zidane.
Yeah,
It's
he was
with the national team,
yeah,
or
national team. He was unbelievable. Ronaldinho was special as well, special player. But I think when it's all said and done, I think Cristiano Ronaldo will be the best that I played against. His numbers and what he's achieved.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go down ahead of Zidane in terms of, when people are looking at the best players in history. So I would have to say Ronaldo. But, I played against Ronaldo a few times. I played against Zidane once. And, in that one game, Zidane showed me why he was why he was a superstar. He scored 2 goals, a penalty and a free kick, and won the game for France. And yeah, he was special. But Ronaldo will be one of the greatest 2-3 players ever to have played the game. So Ronaldo.
So no Arjen Robben since you stopped him.
No, I mean I'd love to put him at the top and say I tackled him, but no, Robin was a top player as well. Fantastic player. Honestly, he was a special player himself. Yeah.
How was the tackle? That tackle for you?
Yeah, I mean,
Was it just ordinary, or
it was
Just like any other tackle, just another day at the office.
It's my job to tackle. Obviously, Robin was way ahead of me, but the ball was in the air. So, as a young defender, I was taught run back as hard as possible. The ball's in the air. He's got to wait for it to come down, and let's see if I can put some pressure on him. And he took a little bit too long. And I managed to get the tackle in. But yeah, if he would have shot a split second earlier, then I would never have made it. But luckily for me, he took too long. He didn't know I was coming, which was great. I tried to, although I was running fast and hard, I was trying to run quiet as well. So he didn't hear me.
Yeah. If we look after your retirement, what's the best moment for as a Tottenham fan for you?
Reaching the Champions League final has to be, and I think, the whole Champions League was amazing. Really, I mean, we struggled in the group, we kind of sneaked our way through the group, and then every time we seemed like we it was finished, we seemed to find a way, and we done that against City, of course. That game was a crazy game, and just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, we had the Ajax game. So the Ajax game was incredible. I think that's my favourite moment for sure.
Were you there?
I wasn't there. Well, unfortunately, my youngest daughter, it was her birthday, her first birthday that day, so I missed the game. So it's a regret that I wasn't there. But obviously, I watched the game. I had some friends and family round, and we watched the game. And to say I went through some emotions during that game is an understatement. It was a crazy game, and to reach a Champions League final that way was incredible.
Yeah, of course. I think everybody here felt the same way.
Yeah. Was anyone there?
I've been in Amsterdam, but in a pub.
Okay.
In a Spurs pub.
Okay. How was that?
Crazy. Yeah. I hug and kiss people.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a pub, Fenk pub, that we're going to watch games there. It was, I think, one of the best scenes possible to see.
Yes.
I wasn't there. I was at home, but the rest of the guys here can testify. It was crazy. Yeah. I ripped the shirt out of me when I was at home. I didn't know what to do.
Strong then.
The Hulk.
Not easy, that.
Yeah. Let's go for the current team now. How do you rate it compared to different teams that you saw? And
I believe this is one of the strongest teams that I've seen. I think we've bought very well in the summer. I think we've brought players that are tested. When we talk about Perisic, Basuma, Richarlison. These are players that have played at a high level, played at the highest levels. So I think it's fantastic. I think that we're in a strong position at the moment. When I looked at the 1 to 11, it was always difficult to pick, where our weaknesses were. I think what we've done is we've put some pressure on, the one to everyone really within the team, and I think that's the best thing you can do when you have kind of 2 players for every position. It just lifts the intensity in training. The competition for places is fierce, and it only helps the team. So speaking to some of the lads, they said that the level in training has gone up. Since the new guys have come in, and that makes me really excited for this season. I think we're in a very, very good place, and I think I'm sure teams will be knowing that. They'll be knowing that we've had a good summer. And our squad is looking very strong, adding to what we already had, which was a very good team in the first place.
Yeah, you mentioned training. We all saw the footage of the training in South Korea.
Yeah.
Have you been in the stadium when for this training?
I was there, and I can honestly say I've had my time, and I'm glad I had my time. But I think the training has gone up a level from my time as well. The fitness levels of the players is more now. They're running more distance. They're covering more distances. Every team is pressing, which is it's hard. It's hard to do for 90 minutes. So we all know that Antonio Conte's teams are always very, very physical and very fit. And this is the first pre-season with him.
Yeah,
he joined in last season. He had a mini pre-season to get the players up to the level when he first come in, and the team turned from the least fittest team to the fittest team in 6 weeks or so. So you could see how much preparation they done in that time. So we knew that pre-season was going to be similar. The lads have said it's been tough, but they've enjoyed it because there's no better feeling than when you feel strong physically, going into that first game of the season. You've put the work in pre-season, you've done everything possible. It's a good feeling, although the running is tough and at the time you don't enjoy it, after you feel good. And speaking to the lads, they feel good at the moment. They feel as fit as they've ever felt. and that's going to come into benefit, or that's going to benefit the team come the start of the Premier League for sure. We'll see that.
Yeah. And do you think Conte can bring us to the place that we want?
Of course, that's the aim. That's what we hope. We've seen it before with him. He's a winner. The players have that mentality now. They look very focused throughout this pre-season. They've looked very focused, and the mood is that everyone's looking forward to the season. Everyone's excited by it. We know that it's difficult. We know there's some very good teams in the Premier League. It's difficult to win anything. It's difficult to win any cup. But there's a good feeling in the place at the moment, and of course we want to try and win. We want to try and win things. So that's the aim going into the season. Let's see what we can do. Let's get off to a good start and see where that takes us.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to the break for the World Cup and we'll be. Close.
I mean that will that will be an aim to put yourself in a good position going into that World Cup. The season's almost in two parts now this season. So, can you put yourself in a good place in the first part of the season and then see what can happen on the second half?
Yeah. Boaz, you have a question?
Yeah, so we saw on social media lately they had the big mural on the wall. How was it just seeing it physically for the first time?
Yeah, it was a special feeling, of course. I heard about the mural. I spoke to. It was actually the supporters trust, the Tottenham supporters trust, that kind of decided it was me that they wanted to put on the wall, and it was. And yeah, of course, I was delighted to kind of that they chose me. But it wasn't until I actually, went and saw it for the first time that you see the magnitude of it, the size of it.
Do you walk by sometimes randomly?
Yeah, I try
and
to.
Just I know that guy.
I try to. I try to make sure that every now and then I just make sure it's still there. First, so I make sure. I don't want to do it too much because then it loses its feel. But every now and then, I definitely go there and have a look at it and kind of just take it in because it's special. It's a special feeling. As I would say, I walked up and down the road as a kid. But I never dreamed of having, a big mural of myself on the wall.
That's amazing. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, incredible. You had a little spell as in coaching for Mourinho.
That's right.
Is it something that you want to do in the future? You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I did enjoy it. And it wasn't something that I was doing at the time. But when Jose came in, he asked me to be on the training pitch. So I went in, I started to watch, I started to speak to players. And then the COVID hit and the lockdown happened. So I stayed away to see the team finish the season. And then the next summer, Jose called me and said he wants me to be part of his coaching staff. And yeah, it was an honour to kind of to work with him. Really, he's one of the best managers we've seen. So yeah, it was an opportunity that I could not turn down, and to kind of learn from him and see how he operates was fantastic. It was a difficult season. We was playing with no fans in the stadium. We got off to a good start. Around December we was top at one stage, but unfortunately, we couldn't maintain it, and we started slipping. But for me, there was some great experiences. We beat Arsenal at home, we beat Man City at home, we beat Man United 6-1 away. There were still some really good moments in the season. But yeah, I'm thankful for the opportunity, and I always said that if I'm going to come back and do it, I'm going to make sure I do my badges properly and be ready for it, rather than just coming at this level without really doing all my badges. So I will do my badges, and we'll see. If I really enjoy it and feel it, then I'll come back. Yeah.
And do you think about going to the academy or still be a assistant?
Yeah, maybe initially just doing some work with the academy, and you just never know. For me, I think it's important that I kind of, although I was working with the first team, it's important for me to actually go back and start, at the bottom again, and really get as much information as I can, and then kind of build up again, because I've kind of, I haven't gone through all the stages that I needed to. So, once I do that again, we'll see how I feel.
What do you think about a club legend like you that will come back to Tottenham and manage academy players?
Yeah, I think it's always important to have some kind of connection with a football club and someone who can understand the young kids and what they might be going through.
Yeah, of course. For the fans, it's also very good to see the legends coming back to the team.
Exactly. Yep.
We have time for one last question, Boaz.
Yeah, so we had a Zoom conversation, I think, a week or so ago, and I already asked you this, but I have to ask again because our listeners have to hear the answer.
Yeah.
So, can
I
Prime...
might change the answer this time.
Okay. Prime Ledley King,
Yeah.
can he mark Prime Harry Kane?
Okay. Let me find a way to answer this.
I won't tell him.
Prime Ledley King didn't really worry about who he's playing against. Well, I say Prime, even with one knee, I didn't really worry because you can't worry about who you're playing against. You respect them, but you only worry about yourself and make sure that you're ready to perform at your best level. And I always felt if I performed at my best level, then I could have a good game against anyone. But the difficulty is when you're playing against the top players like a Harry Kane, you can have a great game for 90 minutes against them, and they can still score the winning goal at the end. They can still end up with 2 chances, 2 goals, and you could have done most things right. So it's very difficult to answer that question. I always say the best players, they can find a way, and the difficulty is it's never just one-on-one for a whole game.
Right.
It's never like that, They can go on to different players and cause different players problems. That's what the best players can do. So, the answer is...
It's complex.
The answer is complicated in terms of... No, but listen, Harry's the best player for a reason. One of the best in the world for me in his position. And I'm 10 years retired now, so... my answer right now is no. But Prime... No, it would have been fun. I would have loved to have played against him.
Yeah.
Okay, this is all the time that we have. So thank you very much, Ledley. It was a very big pleasure, and we cannot thank you enough for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hopefully you will enjoy your time in Israel, and maybe next time Tottenham will come here, hopefully for Champions League.
And we promise to put tomorrow a good performance from the fans.
Yeah. No. Listen, I know that the team are really looking forward to the game. Already since we've been out here, the reception that we've received has been fantastic, and they're hoping to put on a good performance. Their last pre-season game, so they want to put on a show, play well, leading into the first game of the Premier League season.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much again. Thank you everybody, and come on, you Spurs.